a feedback form where we will break you all into breakout rooms. Oh, can you all hear me? Cool. So let's get started. So just a reminder for all of you to opt into RMMFI's newsletters. You can go ahead to rmmfi.org/newsletters to opt into our community newsletter or our volunteer newsletter. It's a great way to learn about all of our events coming up, news. We share stories about all of our graduates and to learn ways to support our small business community. So make sure you're opted into that. And then mark your calendar. So after Retro 2, next we have our graduation. So it'll be a joint boot camp graduation celebration and a pitch event for our Idea Labbers. And that will be on Thursday, July 28th from 5:30 to 8. That will be a hybrid event. So we'll have an in-person celebration and an option to join virtually as well. Our location is still being finalized, so we will get all that information out to you all very soon, so you can RSVP and decide whether you want to join in person or virtually. In person, we'll have some great food from an entrepreneur and drinks provided, and it's always a really great time to be able to see all of you and network in person, but we understand convenience and comfort levels, so we'll always have a virtual option. All right, rules of the retro. So for Retro 2, we'll be going through the management and financials pillars. I know these have been, a really tough few weeks of class. So congratulations to all of you for making it through. I'm really excited to see your presentations. The big rocks that will be covered will be launch and ongoing strategy, key success indicators, capital needs, and revenue, cost, profit, and cash flow assumptions. So each presentation will be 9 slides and we'll have 6 minutes per presentation. Like I said, we've got a lot to get through. So Sarah is going to keep the time. And once you get to 6 minutes, she will lovingly tell you it's time to wrap it up because we got to keep them short. All right, so with this virtual format, I'll be controlling all the slides. So entrepreneurs, when you're presenting, I'll move through the slides so you can let me know when you want me to move to the next one. And then each presentation has its own scoring form. So mentors and staff, only you guys need to fill out the scoring forms. Entrepreneurs, don't worry about that. Sarah will also drop the links to the appropriate scoring form before each presentation. So make sure you're filling the correct one out for the correct entrepreneur. All the feedback is anonymous and all of the scores and comments will be shared with each of the entrepreneurs. We do ask that if you give a score of 3 or below, please include feedback and a little explanation about why you gave that score so that we can keep the comments, constructive, and the entrepreneurs can learn a little bit more about how they can improve. And then, like I was saying, at the end of the retro, we will break you all out into breakout rooms with one entrepreneur, and it's just a chance to chat, kind of give some verbal feedback and encouragement, talk about anything interesting that you heard in their presentation, and share any ideas or suggestions that you might have. Just a reminder to keep the feedback high level, positive, and honest. And a reminder to the entrepreneurs that through this presentation, you can earn up to $600 towards your launch loan eligibility, which will be applied at the end of bootcamp once you reach graduation and you become eligible for that launch loan. All right, this is our presentation order. We'll stop about halfway through. I'll give everyone a break, a bathroom water break, and then we'll continue. Does anybody have any questions before we get into these presentations? Cool. John, are you ready?
Of course not, but yeah, let's get it.
You are. And Sarah, can you drop that form into the chat, please?
I thought you were gonna say you're drop the beat.
That too.
That's not what Sarah drops. John, drop.
That's John.
All right. Hi y'all. Once again, I'm Kid Astronaut. You could go to the next slide. So as a basic overview of what I'll be working on over the next 12 months is really focusing on gathering my business compliance. I've been doing Kid Astronaut for a while, but finances and business are pretty new to me. So this has been super helpful in terms of just getting me prepared for that, learning I need to give W-9s to my band members, which are contracted workers. So yeah, that's that slide. Next slide, please. The top line for this retro deck is that we'll be focusing mostly on our live show component of the band. But I did want to include a couple of things that are going to be important for us moving forward. Most specifically, we have the music publishing side of our company, and we want to build a landing page for our business, for clients who want to contact us for making new music, and also secure a booking agent for national and international shows. So these are things that we're going to be lining up as we move past launch. Next slide, please. So this is our key success indicators. I think right here, we're really focusing on, I guess the biggest thing is making sure that we are raising our money every month, every show. We want to just make sure we're tracking that every month from here on out, we're gaining a growth of album streams, ticket sales, merch items, everything that we sell right now. We just want to make sure that we're exponentially getting better and getting bigger. Next slide, please. Okay, so like I said, we are going to be focusing on our live shows. We set a conservative limit for how much we would ask per show, but ideally, what I would like to get is 5K per show, and I'm asking for that because I feel not only are we giving people a show of just music, but we also offer an experience. And so I want to get better about marketing that experience that people will get when they book a Kid Astronaut show. It's not just going to be your normal run-of-the-mill bands that play covers or something. It's original music, it's engaging. We have a steady flow within the show. So I think that we're going to just ask for more and hopefully raise our revenue. Next slide. So this slide is showing just basically what we have to pay every month for our cost of goods per show. I added a couple of our fixed costs in here. There's a couple more actually, but this kind of shows where we're standing as far as what it costs to make each show happen. Next slide, please. This is our profit assumptions. I don't want to read every stat in here, but we went through the financial workbook and just made sure we included not only live shows, but also the merch we sell, like comic books and t-shirts, and also our music publishing rates that we would like to gain each month. So yeah, these all equal out to our break-even points. Yeah, next slide. Okay, as far as our cash flow strategies, the biggest thing that we are going to start doing in our contracts are asking for payment upfront with the remainder at the show or within that 7 days. So it's going to be very important for us to make sure our cash flow cycle is consistent and that we have enough cash on hand to cover our bills and our COGS. As far as future and net profits, we're going to invest in making sure our touring and the music that we make is more efficient and easier on us. So like I said, that includes the booking agent, that includes better marketing strategies. And we also want to make sure that we are just getting more efficient maybe buying new equipment to help us make music faster. Next slide, please. As far as capital needs, we actually started, like I said, in 2015. I didn't say that, but we started our band in 2015. So we have a lot of the launch and initial growth already done. So right now, this is us looking forward to the future. We want to do a West Coast run. I actually have some shows in Seattle planned right now. If anyone has some people in Seattle that they want to send our way. So these are the things that we're aiming to do. And I know that most people would add what they need to start up, but we actually have most of our equipment ready to go and we're ready to get on the road. Next slide. And so, yeah, like I did last time, this is how you can reach me. This is my QR code. And yeah, that was it. Thank you.
Awesome job, John. If we can all unmute, give a little clap for John and all of our entrepreneurs.
Good job, John.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good job, bud.
Awesome. So we'll give everyone a minute or two to finish up that scoring form. And then next we have Nikki. Nikki, are you here and ready?
I'm ready.
We'll give everyone a second, and Sarah just dropped the link to Nikki's form. You can open that up. All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'm Nikki. I'm the founder of Junebugs Camp, and we're an all outdoor nature-based camp for kids age 3 to 7. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, or there's also the website. Okay, so I've already had this business for a couple of years, but to move into the next stage of growth, my plan is to get an accountant, update the website so parents can register for school breaks, obtain permits for the next year, and find a way for families to leave Google reviews. So the next 1 to 3 months, like I said, I'm going to update the website, make sure I have all the dates for school breaks, get those permits. 4 to 6 months, obtain an accountant, and then something on the back burner, but something that I'm interested in is seeing if I can make Junebugs a nonprofit and be able to take kids on scholarships and stuff like that. Okay, so my key success indicators for marketing are how many new families I have signing up. I plan to track that on through Wix. I have a question that families fill out if they're new or returning. So operations, key success indicators, same thing. I have a question on Wix that identifies if families are new or returning families. And then financially, I look at net profits. Okay, so I charge an average of $85 a day per kid for camp. And then in summer, I obviously have a lot more kids signing up than in the school year. So those are my monthly averages for summer and the school year. And then again, summer, I'm making quite a bit more than the school year. So I kind of just spread that revenue out. My cost of goods sold is pretty low. Like the only thing that I have that I buy per kid are these little notebooks, and they're like probably about $1 each. So I put everything else under fixed costs, like things like hand sanitizer or like art supplies, just because we all share it. So yeah, my immediate fixed costs are insurance, permits, equipment and supplies, storage, accounting and payroll, and that is about $5,200 or $300 a month. Okay, so profit assumptions. My average monthly revenue is about 5,706. Cost of goods sold 65. The gross profit ends up being that, and then After taking everything out, it's about $348 worth of profit. And so I would need to sell 63 units to break even. Okay, so cash flow strategies. I have all of the parents prepay for camp. So they pay about 2 weeks in advance. I also have a registration fee that they pay that's non-refundable. So that helps make sure I always have money on hand. And then my plan with profits is to start a retirement account for myself or reinvest into the business to expand. And these are my major capital needs, and I plan to pay all of them from profits from this year. So it's pretty much payroll for me and my employees, permits, equipment, insurance, and an accountant. And it's about 60,000. And that is Junebug's summer camp. The end.
Great job, Nikki.
That was great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Quick question, are your capital needs estimates for one calendar year?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, so 60,000 a year, got it.
Cool, thank you. We will give everyone a minute to finish up Nikki's scoring form. And then next we have Joanna. And Sarah will drop Joanna's scoring form link in the chat. Joanna, are you here and ready?
I am.
Awesome. Great. All right, Joanna, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, my name is Joanna. I am the owner and head chef of Joanna's Kitchen. We are located in Denver, Colorado. I have my website and my social media information down below, and also my phone number and our email address. Next slide, please. Okay, so for my key tasks that must be done in order to get my business launched would be tracking my product waste, understanding more financial ins and out, marketing, and entering another store, and having a solid checklist as far as operation and procedures, and talking to my current helper about increasing hours and days. Next slide, please. And by the way, these are all actual pictures of my meals. So as far as my ongoing strategy for my first 1 to 3 months, I am looking at a stable, consistent flow with my first current store. And then I'm also looking at getting into a second store for 4 to 6 months. I would be looking at training my helper in more meals, having a routine in place as far as what day we pick up our materials and what day we prep. And then also looking at what it will look like to get into a third store. And my goal for 6 to 12 months would be have a stable routine. I would like to have the 3 stores under control and be able to kind of manage it for about 6 more months before I add on any more stores. Next slide, please. So for my key successful indicators, for my marketing, it would be my social media, my pop-up events that I'm doing. And pop-up events, I would be looking at doing 3 times a month. I will be looking at collaborating with other chefs or different podcasts, and also my upcoming brunches that I'm planning to have in place. For my operation, it would be increasing meal preps. So as far as increasing the stores that I'm able to provide for, and also declining product waste. So I have a picture of this machine, and it's a tray sealer. And I believe that being able to have that would help me increase my meals, because right now my meals are able to last for 2 weeks, and this would last for a month. And so I'll be able to freeze and also have it at different locations. And then also I'm looking at a company vehicle to help deliver the materials, because at this time I'm using my personal vehicle. Next slide, please. Okay, so for my financial assumptions, I laid out 3 menu items that I have, which is fried plantain, sorbet drink, and banana pudding. Over here, I have my sales for August, and I would be looking at if I'm making 330 fried plantain and bean stew meals, I'll be averaging 3,960. And then if I jump forward into December, which would be 3 stores, bringing in 1,200 meals, I'll be bringing in 14,400. And so goes on for the other 2 meals. By the way, this is the picture of me and the mayor of Lakewood when I won Taste of the West last year. Next slide, please. Okay, so as far as what my gross profit would be for leftovers, my revenue for August, I'm going by the same data from the last slide. So for August and for December, I have my cost of goods sold, my gross profit, and my net profit. And then if you go over the monthly breakdown, for August fiscal costs, I am looking at 4,230 for plantains, which is at $12 each. And to make it, it is costing me $7.08. And so I would need to make about 860 plantain meals in order to break even. But also, that's not the only meal I provide. I provide other things as well too. Next slide. Okay, so for my cash flow, for right now, I am picking up a check after each week. So after I drop off a meal, I pick up the last week's check. And so that is as of right now, the way I'm doing payments. As far as cash on hand, I would be saving short cash flow or a line of credit, a business line of credit. And then also I will be looking into investing into my business as far as getting the tray sealer to help decrease my product waste.
Joanna, you have 1 minute.
Okay, and my capital needs right now, I'll be looking at my van repairs, my employee, different permits, my equipment, and the cargo van that I like to have for delivery. For fundings, I'll be looking at grants, loans, potential investors, and working hard. Next slide, please. And this is some of the different food that I offer in different pictures. Thank you guys for listening.
Woo! Good job, Joanna.
Great job, Joanna. These pictures are amazing.
Yeah, you know it's dinner time, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're killing me right now. You're killing me. This looks amazing.
Thank you.
Awesome job. And yes, I'm dying to try this now.
I know, seriously. The one with the avocado and the plantains looks so good right now.
I had her plantain meal last Sunday and it's amazing. She's at Sun Market every Sunday.
Market, I was gonna say.
I'll mark it for you, Joanna. She's at Sun Market every Sunday from noon to 4. They do a wonderful pop-up there where a bunch of our entrepreneurs actually go. And her food is delicious and she sells out each Sunday. So you should check it out. Get there early.
Amazing. I don't even want to leave this slide, but we gotta wrap up.
Sun Market is on the corner of, 22nd and Lafayette? Joanna?
It is, yes.
Yum.
Cool. So we'll wrap up Joanna's scoring form, and then we can open up Nastasha's. Hey, Nastasha, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome.
Me and the cat.
Great to see you. Okay, we'll give everyone a second to open up your scoring form that Sarah dropped in the chat.
Okay.
All right, Nastasha, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Excellent. So I am Nastasha. I do art by Nastasha, and I am the artist. Um, I have a studio at Recreative, which is in the Santa Fe Arts District. You can come see me this first Friday. I'll be at Converge in Rhino July 8th, and I'll be at Hope Tank July 23rd. Next slide. So my launch strategy, some of the things, I do a lot of artwork using people's donated makeup, makeup that they have not used or they don't want to throw into landfill and they want to upcycle. So I want to design a thank you card for those people, something that I have a bunch on hand that I can hand out as people donate. I also want to look at creating a social media expectations and scheduling calendar, along for organizing my backlog of paintings and prepping my material for applying for different calls for entry. Next slide. So my ongoing strategy for, I have a couple of projects out. For example, I have a flag that looks at Mexican American history here in Denver for the Art Students League of Denver. Also, September will be Hispanic Heritage Month, and I want to do a couple of reels that talk about some of the history that I learned while doing the flag. And then we are coming up, as an artist, I am also very much an activist. So we're looking at the November and voting and trying to get some of my material ready for that. I also am really wanting to do some workshops and community art classes. And next year, well, 2023, that's going to kind of be my focus, is doing workshops and looking at residencies. Next slide. This is one of my market setups. So one of the ways my financial KSIs are really looking at orders placed through my website, as well as orders at in-person vendor events. One of the operations KSIs I really want to focus on is my order to ship time, and to make sure that that's around 3 days in an acceptable time. Next slide. So for looking at my revenue assumptions, what I did was, because I sell a variety of products, I took my lowest cost price, which is this Roaring 20s print for $30, and my highest cost right now, which is a clear nail polish series at $150. So I kind of use those. Actually, ironically, both came out to $300, which I hadn't planned on, but I wanted to use that to kind of get an average for the next slide, which is looking at my cost assumptions. My fixed cost, my highest is for rent. And that's just simply a studio rent. And then I just have a couple of other technology things. And I do have a RMFFI loan repayment that will be done in 2 months, but that has been very helpful, but that I wanted to, of course, account for. So you can kind of look at for the two different items, the Roaring 20s print and the clear nail polish series, and going into the next slide, we will see that averaging those out, I need to make about 6 sales per month to break even. All that fun math stuff, and seeing my monthly cost of goods sold is about $34.94, with a monthly revenue of about $600. Next slide. So my length of cash flow, I usually, mine is very much a immediate payment upon purchase. There is a day or two to transfer from my Square account, which is my system, to my account. You can get it quicker, but it charges a fee. So I usually wait those 2 days. The strategy to ensure enough cash on hand, I am looking at doing online fundraising. I now have a donation button on my website. So if somebody, or it's called Doing the Work Fund, because it can't be a donation because I'm not a nonprofit, but something that's kind of, if people aren't specifically looking to buy a piece, but they are wanting to support the work, they can support that fund. And I'm wanting to really focus on that as well. Strategy for any net profits is invest in supplies and technology for the company. I would like to get a better setup system to photograph the work, because obviously when you're selling artwork online, photography is key. Next slide. So my capital needs are very much my rent, I need to get a couple more things for my studio. I just went into the new studio at Recreative and it's a little bit bigger. So I have some more room and I would like to get in 2 more tables and another rolling little cart, a light box, and actually doing business supplies or business cards. For funding sources, I'm looking at micro grants, the fundraising, a launch loan, and right now it's me doing a bunch of freelance gigs around the city. And next slide. So yeah, come see me it's literally this Friday, first Friday, come see me downtown in the Santa Fe Arts District and check me out in Converge and Hope Tank. Oh, and a light box is a setup that makes it easier for you to take 3D photos. So if your like physical object is 3D, it will cut out all the noise and clutter, and it allows you to light it better.
Woo!
Good job, Natasha. Woo!
Awesome job, Natasha. These are also really great pictures of your art. I love when you guys add those to your slides. And congratulations on the new studio space.
Yeah, Natasha, can you throw that in the chat where you're going to be this Friday? Because I'm going to try to do the art walk and I want to see it.
Of course, definitely. Thank you, hon.
Nice. Awesome. Well, great job, Natasha. We'll give everyone a minute to finish up your scoring form. And then next up, we'll have Betsy. Thanks for dropping that form in the chat, Sarah. So everyone can open up Betsy's form. Betsy, are you there?
I'm here.
Awesome. How are you, Betsy?
I'm awesome.
Yay, it's great to see you. You can go ahead and get started whenever you're ready.
Hello, my name's Betsy Keel, and I own Alpenflora Garden Design and Maintenance based in Vail, Colorado. I service primary and secondary homeowners, with most of my customers having been with me for over 10 years. Next slide. So because my business is a relaunch strategy, and this was the most challenging part of my relaunch, was the financing part, because I really like designing gardens and don't really like spending any time in the office. My mentors, I have to thank them because I had a meltdown before this presentation. But what I need to do is I need to interview accountants so that I get someone who gets me, not just does accounting because it's just the numbers. I need to make sure that I have my workman's comp in place. I need to write an employee handbook because I have this girl helping me and she seems to lose tools every day. And so I'm color coding her tools from now on, and I'm going to make people be responsible, but I never thought I would have to do that. And the other thing is have a handle on the cost of goods sold. When I first started this, and I have talked to everyone at RMFMFI, so if I haven't cried to you, don't worry, you'll get a chance. But I didn't even know what cost of goods sold was. So I feel really confident that now I do know what that is, but now I need to make sure that I can keep it low. Next slide. My ongoing strategy. So I guess always when I present to the mentors, they always want me to get bigger and take more clients. And I'm learning that I love all you mentors, but I can't get any bigger. And there's only so many hours in a day that I can work. And so I am really focused on keeping my existing clients and delivering a quality product versus a quantity. For me, I charge $55 an hour, so it doesn't matter if I get 100 new clients or if I keep the same one and keep, do the same work at that property. And that's kind of what I'm learning about this. The 4 to 6 months, I'm not a salesman. And so I'm learning that I have to try to be a salesman to get those existing clients to spend some more money. So I'm going to recommend more perennial plants and more bulbs in the fall, which I kind of don't usually do. And the other thing is I'm going to provide an end of season survey, which I've never done before, just to see what, maybe I think I'm doing this awesome job and maybe I'm not. And the people can then write it down and tell me what they'd like in their gardens. And the 6 to 12 month on my back burner is a website design. Basically because I don't want a ton more clients. And so I feel like that's kind of me spending money, but I think it's a good thing to have. And possibly getting my business so that it goes into year round, not necessarily gardening, but maybe something that can work. I'm not plowing and I'm not doing little floral arrangements, but I'm going to try to think of something that could mesh with it. Next slide, please. All right, my key success indicators. Obviously, money is always a good way to know if you're doing it, but for me is how many clients am I retaining? Because I truly keep those clients year after year. But like I said, I'm going to do the survey. And then something that's different, the way that I tell if I'm doing a good job is if there's color in the garden and they're blooming every single month. It's a very immediate response to how my gardens look. The financials is the cost of goods sold as low as possible. And am I recording every single thing that I spend, meaning gas, meaning plant food, that I sometimes probably, it's $7. I'll get that later. And that $7 doesn't ever get written down or recorded. Okay, next slide. Okay. So why it's so hard is that although I do all service business, the spring cleanup takes less money to do actually. And so I do it's about 130 hours every month, even though this says 108, I mean, just in the month of May. Then the rest of the summer, it's 130 hours about in every July through October. And then I do annual containers that are a one-time revenue. And this is what was on the financial workbook, a bit of a nightmare because the one-time things are not easy to put in there. So just so you know, we'll go on to the next slide and then we can kind of figure it out.
Betsy, you have 1 minute left.
Okay, so my cost of goods for spring cleanup is $150 and versus $6 an hour for my maintenance. And my average cost of goods sold is $780. All these things on the right-hand side of the slide are pretty much non-negotiable. Accounting, registrations, business and car, insurances, rent, storage, an owner draw, and a RMFI loan. Okay, go. I can talk really fast, Veronica. All right, so this is my average monthly revenue is $71.50, and this is based on that 130 hours per month. The average monthly cost of goods sold is $780. So my gross profit would be $63.70, and then the cost of the monthly fixed goods is $3,115, and it takes me 64 hours to break even a month. Okay, this year I asked for a client for money upfront, and it made my life so much easier. I've never not had to worry about anything, and it was amazing. So the strategy, I think once I have that money up front, then I just have to stay on invoicing to make sure that I can move on to the next month. And hopefully with an RMFI loan, I'll start with money in the bank so it won't be crazy at the beginning of the season. Next. And the capital needs, I kind of screwed up on this. I was looking at this. So it's more like the annuals and the wages is $7,000, and the cash flow would kind of go into that. So it's actually subtracted from that as opposed to added to that. And then the RMFI loan would be $2,500. And then if I could ask my client for that money up front, it would get me through paying for my annuals. Holy schmoly, there we go. Does anyone have any questions? Because I can talk really fast.
Good job, Betsy. Woo!
That was awesome.
I'm impressed.
She worked so hard to be more relaxed and give us more. I'm so proud of you. Great job. Great job, Betsy.
I didn't read it, Alex. I didn't read it.
I love it. Awesome. Great job, Betsy. We'll give everyone a minute to finish up Betsy's scoring form. And then next we'll have Imana.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Imana, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Excited to hear from you.
Um,
Cool. Sarah dropped Imana's form into the chat. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and get started.
all right. Welcome to Tune for Two, where those who have recently hit hard times uncover their power, manage their feelings and emotions, and move forward in their lives. Tune for Two translates into power movement, which is unique because it is a true martial arts system that focuses on power, not strength. What is the difference between power and strength? Visit us on Wednesday and Saturday to feel it for yourself. Next slide. Where's the text? Okay. Why is it taking so long? Wow. Okay. My lunch strategy. I want to hone in on the true numbers. I had to change my rates or realize that I needed to change my rates. And so in doing so, I have a couple of students that are going to be grandfathered in at the old rate. And so my books reflect the new rate moving forward, but I'm going to hone in and go through and correct it so that it'll reflect the few students that are at the older rate. Also, I need to create ads and continue to train the instructors on the various classes, organize our online and in-studio store, and our administration. I've actually already done that, upgraded our administration software, and upgrade and update our website. Next slide. So my ongoing strategy, immediately what I need to do is bring my marketing staff into a paid position. I want to rent out the studio on off days. I've already started that strategy. With this month, I have rented out one bundle of days. I want to bring my staff into a paid position by next month and myself by January. Unify the instructors' teaching skills, and of course, upgrade their website is immediate. Moving forward for the 6 months from now, I want to have a robust retail line, which I kind of already have a retail line, but it's not as great as I would like it to be. And create incremental evaluation assessments and email and review automations. I also want to have, within a year, a viable, marketable online application. Two of my instructors have moved out of the States, and both of them are very much still connected with us. But since we don't have an application right now, or it's a shoddy application, I should say, they're not really active with it. So I want to have an active online application where they can still teach and we can still utilize their expertise. And 47 new accounts by December 22, and 77 accounts by 2023, July 23. Next slide, please. So my marketing KSIs would be the social media interactions and analytics that I get from my website. Number 2 would be retention rate. I realized yesterday in preparing the slide that I have 100% retention rate for the first 13 months. We opened last year well, we reopened last year, May 21. And when we reopened, we had 10 accounts. And as of right now, 13 months later, we still have every single student and every account that opened with us last year in May. So that is great. And that is definitely something I need to be tracking and celebrating along the way. Usually, there are 3 points in the first year of training where students drop out, and we have surpassed each and every one of those points. Even with the ups and downs of my husband passing and my lack of focus during all of that, we surpassed and we have even the best retention rate than we've ever had. So for this, I'm grateful to my students and for my instructors and marketing team for that. Also, I want to, of course, I want to bring the instructors the marketing staff into a paid position, grow the accounts. Members and accounts aren't the same thing, but both are important. And so that's something I definitely need to analyze and be tracking. All students and staff kind of communicate their attendance to me, but I definitely need to organize the information and see if there's a pattern, perhaps that we need to add additional breaks or so. And then student evaluations and reviews. I often touch bases with the students and account holders to see where they are, but now I'm working on a system where the other instructors can do it as well, and we can generate meaningful reviews when the student is ready in an optimal, consistent rate. So that's something that I'm interested in doing. And of course, for finances would be the duration of students training, return on investment for the retail items, and then A/B test the journey add-ons, such as the books and manuals and things like that.
Now
Next
you
slide.
have less than 1 minute.
All right. Okay, let's move through this. So my financial revenue assumptions, I pretty much have one product and it brings in about, on average, 105 a month. And I expect to grow with 2 new accounts every month. And so once I get to capacity, we will be bringing in 20,000 a month. That'll be 120 members, 77 accounts. Next slide, please. At capacity, my fixed costs are 10,731, because at that time I would have achieved the aforementioned goals of bringing on a profitable marketing machinery, Bird and Britt and myself in a paid status, and I would have built the store, which will leave at capacity 9,200 a month in the business for reinvestment each month. Now, this is the breakdown. I'm sorry, next slide. Because I'm in the first year and I'm ramping up to my goal, the numbers look deflated. After I reach the capacity goal, 9,200 will be the net profit each month moving forward. But however, ramping up to it, if you average it all out over the year, my monthly net profit is actually only 2415 average. My break-even point, depending on the mix of accounts, will be about 45 accounts, 20 kid program participants, and 6 retail bundles. And that's about 56% of the capacity goal, which I think we will hit around mid-October, November. Next slide, please. So currently, for my cash flow assumptions, currently I'm investing $2,000 a month into the business, and I will continue to do so until it is able to take care of itself. Also, most of my fixed expenses don't come on until the business can comfortably handle it. The contributions that myself and Bird and Britt provide are understood that it's not necessarily as a job, but as a gift of service. And when Tumfutu is capable, it will graciously repay us monetarily. So that's the way that I am ensuring that I have the cash on hand to pay the bills. Also, we're renting out the space. The strategy is in terms of what will I do with the net profits is right now we're renting a space which is at the whim of our landlord. So I hope to move into a permanent home for us. Also, I want to be able to offer our instructors their travels. Currently, our instructors come visit us quarterly and it's at their own expense. And I would love for Tune for Two to be able to pay for their visits and also expand and offer other programs. Capital needs, I intend to cover them. This is my capital needs here: ads, rent, and insurance for them, to begin. And I intend to cover this with the launch loan, my personal contributions, and the existing accounts income that I have right now. And last slide, Tune for Two, helping you find your power, manage your feelings and emotions, and move forward in your life. Come get your own power. Thank you.
Good
Great
job,
job, Amana.
Wonderful retention. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, great presentation, and it's amazing the work that you've been able to do. So I just commend you on all your resilience. And thanks for that presentation. Awesome. We'll give everyone a minute. Actually, it seems we're about halfway through and we're doing pretty good on time. So I think we can go ahead and take a break. We'll meet back in 10 minutes. So 6:38, we can all meet back. Everyone use the restroom, stretch, water, and then we'll finish the presentation.
Thanks, Veronica.
Yeah, thanks everyone. All right. Hey, everyone. Are we all back?
Hey, what'd you do with your 10 minutes? I traveled the world.
Yes, we're on a trip. No, I needed to stretch my legs very badly.
While we have a second, just a quick reminder, after we wrap up, we're going to create some breakout rooms. And so please stick around to give live feedback to our entrepreneurs. They really appreciate it when they can mix and match and network with new mentors and staff members and hear other ideas and feedback from their presentations tonight. We will definitely still wrap up on time, even with the breakout room. So don't leave the moment the last presentation is over. Stay with us. There's more conversing and direct interactions with our entrepreneurs, which I know we all love.
Yes, and they're all great and so fun to talk to. Awesome. So we have some great presentations coming up. Next up, we have Tamara. And Tamara, I believe, is just going to go ahead and share her screen directly. She's got some updated slides. So let's see.
How do I do that?
Let me see if I can give you permission here. Okay, are you able to share your screen now? There should be a green arrow on the bottom of your Zoom screen.
Oh, yes. I totally skipped over it because it was green.
And then you should be able to just share your internet browser.
Yeah, we'll see if this is going to work. Can I share the link with you? I think the Zoom is not set up for sharing preferences. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Yeah, go ahead and share it with me.
Okay. I apologize. My internet connection is not great today. I've been on virtual meetings all day, but this time of the day seems to be a challenge.
No worries. It happens to all of us. We definitely understand. I've got your presentation up here. So as soon as it loads, we can go ahead. All right, you can go ahead and get started whenever you're ready.
All right. I am Tamara. I'm the owner of the Deliberate Page, and I support independent authors who are focused on professional self-publishing. So from fiction to nonfiction, we do editing, formatting, publishing support services. We'll take time to help you understand your goals and identify the best publishing platforms for you. We'll tailor our services to your unique publishing journey. So if you're interested in learning more, setting up a discovery call, visit deliberatepage.com. I've been in business for a few years, so really this is the strategy to get me to the next level. I've been operating as a sole proprietorship. We'll be working on registering the business. I'll be updating my website with a more targeted content for a better defined audience. The content is actually a series of articles I've written over the last year and a half that I will be repurposing to use on different platforms and to build reader engagement. And then my primary effort for marketing is to engage directly with authors. And so I'll be joining trade organizations and really initiating conversations and engaging in that manner. Next slide. So obviously joining trade organizations is a priority. But I also want to optimize my business listing. So everywhere that I have a presence, whether it's Google or Facebook, I want to make sure that the content is consistent with my current brand and that it all drives back to my website. Finances have been kind of a back burner for me. So I really want to take a bookkeeping class and have a better overview of how I'm managing my cash flow and my money. In the 4 to 6 month range, I'm looking at setting up a platform called Dubsado. It's a project management platform, but it's also a CRM. It's really designed for small creators that will give me a better oversight of the business and clients, as well as setting up systems and workflows that I don't have to manage manually. Because my website is my primary point of contact for new clients, I really want to learn and understand Google Analytics so that I know where traffic is coming from, where people are spending their time, be able to identify any pain points, and really have a good handle on that part of the business. While I do encourage referrals right now, it's not a very active part of my business. And I really want to incentivize that and give current clients a reason to bring new clients in. And then developing educational programs is another way for me to engage with people. So I really want to have those programs in place and ready when the opportunity presents itself for conferences or classes or workshops. Next slide. These are, I've identified monthly KSIs for myself. I really want to make sure I'm getting a minimum of 15 inquiries each month and converting at least 70% of those. The roundtable is a monthly free discussion group that I host. It is definitely a long game for marketing, but it's an opportunity for authors and professionals to have a discussion about professionalism in self-publishing. And so I want that community to continue to grow. I certainly prefer repeat business. Keeping clients is cheaper and easier than getting new clients. I also offer additional services to formatting. So I have advanced reader copies and book excerpts and publishing support services that add value to a client's experience. And I currently haven't been pushing those, but would like to start adding those to clients to boost revenue per client. And then a revenue increase, a monthly revenue increase is pretty self-explanatory. I included the two different price points for fiction and nonfiction because they're vastly different, even though the services are the same. This ratio is pretty consistent with what I've had in the past with clients. So looking at 11 fiction books each month and 4 nonfiction books, gets me a revenue of about $6,500. There are really no associated costs with or direct costs with the services that I produce, so there are no cost of goods. My immediate fixed costs are primarily software, marketing, which is more joining trade organizations and the membership fees associated with that, and then a credit card payment that I have. And certainly I want to be able to take a minimum of $2,000 each month. That's my low end, but it's what will keep the business going for the duration. So we're looking at about $2,500 each month for costs. So given the numbers in the previous slides, we're looking at a net profit of just under $4,000. But in order to break even, my base service of fiction formatting, it would take about 8 fiction books each month to cover my costs and break even while still paying myself. Cash flow is pretty basic. I require a 50% non-refundable deposit before work begins. Once clients have approved final files and before I deliver publish-ready files, I do require a payment in full so that I'm not having to go back and collect or deal with any of that. My strategy to pay bills is really to get those minimum 8 clients every month, which historically has been a very achievable objective. And then for net profit, I'd really like to invest in somebody to help with marketing, SEO, and at some point, I would like to have somebody design out or build out my educational programming.
You have 1 minute left.
Thank you. Capital needs are pretty basic for me. Most of my software costs are paid for the year, my website hosting and everything. So really, I've only included here things that haven't been covered. So looking at trade organization memberships, I've put in a total number. I may or may not join all of those particular organizations. And my computer is reaching Apple's, forced obsolescence. So within the next 6 to 8 months, I'll need to replace the computer. So I'm looking at an additional revenue or cost of about $5,200 for the next year. And that'll primarily be funded through revenue, personal investment, and potentially an RMMFI loan. So if you've written a book, you'd like to write a book, somebody who's written a book, join me, visit deliberatePage.com for more information. You can sign up for the roundtable if you just want to hear what's going on. Thank you.
Woo! Yay, good job.
Great job.
Hey, Tamara, I have a question about your COGS. Can you describe how you categorize the costs associated with the work you do for the client?
Yeah, there are no direct costs for a client's work. It's primarily service-based. The costs I pay for our software, I pay for InDesign, I pay for Microsoft Office, I pay for Grammarly. So they're all software-based tools that really have no direct cost associated with each client. I'm paying for them whether or not I have clients, or regardless of how many clients I have.
Sure. And then do you not use your time, the payment of your service as part of?
I haven't considered that as a cost of good, no. But that's a valid question.
I was just wondering, because it's obviously it's a different service, so I'm just curious how that looks in the breakdown.
Yeah, the time can vary from client to client. I have a pretty good average. So I think it would be a little bit goofy because it does vary.
Okay, is there somewhere where you have how you charge your client?
For my reference or for the client's reference?
For your reference. Like you had the fees for the fiction and nonfiction, the breakdown of that. I'm just trying to understand how that looks even further broken down, not from what you charge them, but how you arrive at that number.
Yeah, a fiction client will typically take me about 4 hours to do, from getting the client to sending files off. That might be over 2 weeks, but that's about how much time I invest. And then nonfiction, because the formatting for nonfiction can vary so much. And these are just base prices, so they will fluctuate if the need of the client is different. But I have myself billed out on the back end at roughly $75 an hour.
Okay, I guess I'm just trying to understand your net cost. I see what you're charging, and I understand that there's work that goes into it, but because your product is different, I was just trying to understand that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And we can definitely put you all in a breakout room together at the end of this session. These are all really great questions and suggestions and the point of the breakout room. So excited for those conversations. Yeah, thank you both. Let's see, let me go ahead and share my screen. I think we have Farah Jane up next. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. And Sarah has dropped the scoring form in the chat. So Farjane, whenever you're ready.
Right. Hi, my name is Farah. I own the Haitian food truck here in Denver, Colorado. It provides also catering services. Sorry. The task that I need to get done and ready to grow my business, it's to recreate a better website with a schedule for location and hours so people can just go in there and then find me. And then I need to hire help also so I can operate more days to generate more income, and then emphasize more on catering services, and then also register the business with the Tri-County so I can go more places, not only stay in Denver. Next. The 3 to 4 major growth for the 1 year. So since I started, I'm on my 6 months now. So right now I'm getting into more festivals. I'm at the Denver Bazaar every Saturday. I'm doing the Denver Market at Midtown and Park Hill during the summer. I was at the Sun Valley Rising, so I'm doing more festival fundraisers to get more exposure. And then I'm building a loyal client base also on customer experience. And also like 12-month strategy is probably to find a permanent spot during the week and also emphasize more on marketing to social media. So key success indicators for marketing is social media engagement. I need to post more pictures, reels, and also getting more reviews. I've been getting a few, but I encourage customers to put more reviews for me. And then website traffic, to keep track of website traffic. And then operation will be catering and events, and then minimize food costs by finding better suppliers. And then the financial is to track sales from my best sellers, and also item that doesn't generate income to discontinue. So this is from my square. That was from one Sunday at a brewery. And my biggest sellers are the chicken combo. It comes with coconut rice and beans, fried plantains, and macaroni salad. And then I have the griot. Griot, it's one of the most popular dish in Haiti. It's a fried pork dish. And then I have the fritai. Fritai is the platters. They come with only herb fritters and fried plantains. And this is the sales for the month of June. The combos are basically my best sellers, mostly the chicken. And that was for a week. The griot combo last week I sold 87 and chicken 88, and the average price is $18.90. So that's the griot combo plate. All right, so cost assumption for fees cost, I have insurance for the trailer and the car that pulled the trailer together, which is about $400 a month. It's because I had a few tickets, so they're not trying to put it down. I tried. And then the phone, I use an app for phone Sideline. It's $10 a month. And then Owner's Draw, it's about $2,000. And then the SUV that I pulled the trailer, I pay monthly about $400, but I should be finished paying it end of the year. And then the sales per month, it's about, for the combos, it's about 513 per month based on square. Next. So those are the numbers I tried to come up with based on my square sales for the month of June. And I found out in order to break even, I need to double sales. That's why, and my main focus is to work more days and to hire help because I'm all by myself and it takes time to prepare my own food. All right, so cash flow assumption for catering, I now require $50% deposit at the time of booking, and then the balance on the day of the event. And then, like I said, work more days and emphasize more on marketing, and then hire help and reinvest in the business to get a bigger truck because I have a small trailer, 6x12, and sometimes it's not even enough space. So some capital needs that I have in order to grow the business that I need to put in. I need to finish paying the trailer, get a better POS system so I can be faster in taking orders, renewals like propane, Denver license, and then get the Tri-County license, and then the budget for the marketing. And also the funding will be reinvestment from the business, and then loans, and then credit cards. And then you can find me on Instagram, guys, to see where I'm at, to come try some Haitian food.
Great job, Fairjane.
Thank
job.
you.
Quick question. The $300 for marketing, is that your monthly budget for marketing?
Yeah, that would be my monthly.
Monthly?
Like paying from Facebook, social media to,
Okay.
yeah, to get more ads out.
Awesome. Thank you. Farah Jane, if you could drop your Instagram in the chat so we can all find where to get some of that food. You guys are killing me. I need some plantains.
Thank you. Okay, I did.
All right, so we'll finish up Farah Jane's scoring form, and then next up we'll have Helena. Helena, are you here?
Yep, I'm right here.
Hey, Helena, how are you?
I'm good.
Good
How
to
are
see-
you?
Good, good to see ya. All right, Helena's form is in the chat. So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you again. My name is Helena. I'm the owner of Forever Blooming, and I specialize in floral preservation for weddings mostly and memorials. You can go to the next slide. Okay, so I have been in business for, it's going to be about a year here, actually next week. So I've done a lot of the major groundwork, I would say. The biggest factors that I need as soon as possible would be to rent studio space, since I work out of my home right now, get more money, business insurance, and purchase more molds, meaning the molds that I preserve the flowers in, so that my fulfillment time is a lot shorter, and hire an assistant. And I should add on there, honestly, someone that can help me with finances, like an accountant. So in the next 1 to 3 months, like I said, studio space is the most crucial thing I'm looking for. I need more space as I get more orders. I haven't been able to take on as many orders as I'd like because I don't have the space to do it all. And then I would like to hire help. I've been doing a lot of pop-up events and vendor events at like Juneteenth or art festivals. But I want to kind of shift my focus specifically to wedding expos. So here in the next year, I want to just focus on education of what floral preservation is, and then just be able to afford the $1,800 booth fee for wedding expo. So I will know that my business is doing well if I see like the posts that I put out on social media are bringing in more customers through there. So I want to start asking, like, where did you hear about me on the initial intake form, and seeing like what is working and what isn't working, because creating content is a job on its own and it's a lot of time. And I want to know how customers feel about the work that I do. I know that the fulfillment time is about 8 to 10 weeks right now, only because it's just me and I want to create the best quality product. But if I get more molds and if I get more space, I would like to cut down on that fulfillment time, because I know that's a long time to wait. And then money is always going to be a great indicator on if you're doing well or not. So I did the revenue assumptions on just one item that I sell. I sell many items. So the 7-inch hexagon is probably my most popular item, and I sell about 3 to 4 of those per month, and it's about $350 each. So that is my monthly revenue just from one item. And it cost me about $72 with resin and everything to create it. And then these on the right side are my projected fixed costs. I don't have a place yet, but on average it's probably going to be about $340 a month, I'm hoping. And I do pay the rest right now. So that's my projected fixed cost at the moment. So I mentioned earlier, I only did the projections for one item. So if I just sold 7-inch hexagons, I would definitely be in the negatives. But that doesn't include like my 4 other main products, and like doing the math, it comes out about to $2,900 a month. So with just selling 7-inch hexagons, I'd have to sell 6 of them on their own. But thankfully I sell bigger items and smaller items that can help me get to breaking even every month or more. So when someone places an order, when they book with me, I collect half of the total cost as a deposit. So I have immediate cash flow. So I'm not figuring out how I'm going to buy resin or the silica sand in order to preserve the flowers. I do want to budget better and do an inventory of what I already have, because I have found in the past month that I'm buying supplies that maybe I don't exactly need because I need more space, and it's kind of hard to get an inventory of everything that I have or don't have when it's kind of just all jumbled all together. So I would really like to hire help in order like to kind of organize all of that with my net profits, as well as, like I said, reinvest money into the business to get, my main focus is to get more space right now. So my capital needs are definitely bigger place. The resin is a must-have. I have to order that on a regular basis. And my equipment and paying myself. So right now, most of that is paid out of my savings and my own money. I'm hoping for loans, and I've been applying to grants. The business profits have been helping to kind of keep everything not go in the negative. So yeah. And that's me.
Yay, good job. Woo.
Great job, Helena.
Thank you.
And congrats on 1 year in business. Exciting. All right, we'll finish up Helena's scoring form. And then next up we have Carolyn. Carolyn, how are you?
I am well. I am. How are you?
I'm happy, excited to see your presentation.
Hi.
You're gonna do great. All right, Carolyn's form is in the chat, so you can go ahead and get started whenever you're ready.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Carolyn King, and I am the co-founder of the Progressive Pantry. And our mission is to centralize locally sourced and produced grocery items to fill your pantry. And so I really invite you to check us out at our website at www.theprogressivepantry.com. Next slide, please. So just so you know that as we approach this whole thing, I got some really amazing news as of Monday. So what I was looking for was to find a commissary kitchen to teach, found one. So, and then I was able to, not purchase, but found, I got a quote today, an hour before class actually, for business insurance. So that will help me secure the commissary space. To secure, the next thing is to secure the stock for the classes. And for what also happened good was I went into the co-op on First and just to pitch the idea of the spices as one product. And they were like, immediately, yes, let's do it. And so now I have to kind of, hustle and get everything together for that. So that's actually a good thing. One plus was that the woman I talked to who runs the commissary kitchen is actually in the boot camp, RMMFI boot camp in Aurora. So thanks RMMFI for the, So yes, and I'd like to solidify more marketing for the classes that will complement the spices that I will be selling through the co-op at First. Next slide, please. So my goals were in the first month 1 through 3 was to get a consignment with a CSA or co-op, check. In the next 4 to 6 months, I'd like to get a secondary contract along with starting some classes that will include the Sunday Swervis and roasted, baked, and glazed as we go into the holidays. And I'm really looking for in this between 6 to 12 months, maybe closer toward the 12 month, is to get another consignment contract and to start looking at retail space, so a brick and mortar. Next slide, please. So, okay, marketing KSIs. Let's look at class enrollment, operations. I'm looking at stock turnover. How fast are we going through that stock? And also on the financial end, what's the average transaction value? Are people buying more? Have they tried it and they bought one and now they're going to buy 3 or 6? Let's just see what happens. Next slide, please. My financial or revenue assumptions. I just looked at the spices. Like I said, I'm going to be looking at locally produced or sourced pantry items for here in Colorado. So, but the spices were the one information I had the most of. So the average price is $9.49. And if I sell, and this was based on what prior to Monday, 100 per month. So that's $9.49. Next slide, please. My cost assumptions. Again, this was kind of based on prior to Monday. My fixed costs right now are not great. I'm still in my apartment. I'm able to do that. I haven't started yet. So these are sort of, numbers with quotes, I guess. So, rent, just a portion of the rent, utilities, accounting, software, insurance, let's see, office supplies and software. I mean, just your basic run-of-the-mill things that are costing me to run, up until launch. So nothing, no surprises here, but, again, these are prior to Monday. Next slide, please. So I'm looking again just at the spices. What I found in just looking, because some of the spices are a little bit more or less, was if I was able to sell 416 bottles per month, I will break even. And when I break that down, that's just 14 jars a day, which is not hard. So if I decide to go, with the marketing classes and the co-ops, and if I decide to do one of the farmers markets, I think I can hit my goal plus. So fingers crossed. Next slide, please. Cash flow assumptions. Here we go. So I'm hoping that I'm able to, get product and sell that and turn that around within 60 days. We don't know. Let's see. I'm going to be scheduling ongoing classes to push sales for sure. I have 2 laid out now. Plus, I'm going to be looking at collaborations with Slow Food Movement and The Same Plate, which offers sort of ethnic dinners, things like that to, as an experience for people. And in that, we're actually sort of going after high value customers so that, nobody was going to balk over, $9.99 for sumac. Maybe not. So also what I'd like to do, because I'm comfortable right now, I'm still working, is to reinvest the profits into the business for the first 6 months and then reevaluate toward the end of the year and decide whether I'm going to take a draw or not. But if I'm looking at getting a brick and mortar, I need to have some cash. So I may just hold off on the owner's draw for a while. Next slide, please.
You have less than 1 minute.
All right. So capital needs right now, just the biggest part of this is purchasing the stock. So it's pretty low. I can use some personal resources, credit cards, and hopefully the RMMFI loan. Next slide, please. And thank you so much for your attention and time. I am Carolyn King, co-founder of the Progressive Pantry. Come see me. Thanks.
Woo, good job, Carolyn.
Thank you. I didn't pass out. No.
Congratulations on all that wonderful news.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So exciting. Awesome. Congratulations and great job. All right, we still have one more presentation. Let me stop sharing my screen really quick. All right, Zed, do you want to give it a try to share your screen? Awesome.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
And the form is in the chat.
Great. Okay. Awesome. My business concept. Who am I? What do I do? Why is it unique? Yat H.A. Zedriel Thompson Asia. Look at the, sorry. I am the founder of Zesty Zed. I am 1/4 Cherokee Apache and 3/4 Dene. I am reconnecting to my culture through food, and I am bringing a taste of my culture to urban life on wheels. You can find me at Zesty Zed on Instagram and TikTok. Hang on. I'm not sure why it won't go to the next slide. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Oh, and there you are.
Awesome. So my key startup management task, what must be done in order to ensure the business is protected, street legal, and ready to launch by the end of boot camp? So here's my checklist. It is to apply for a federal EIN number, register business with Secretary of State, Department of Revenue, Department of Labor, and Employment. Next thing is to obtain workers' compensation insurance, obtain retail food establishment mobile license, and then just to verify that I got everything that I needed so that I'm protected, I am going to conclude with calling 311 to verify that I'm meeting my local requirements and all that I need to comply with. Moving on to management, ongoing management strategy. What are my 3 to 4 major growth objectives? So on the first month goal, I have accomplished my startup management task, which is that list that we just went over. My 3-month goal, I have completed 9 sale events, so 3 at upcoming events, 3 within the limits of parks, meaning family environment and skate park vibes. Within limitations, I can only be within a certain feet of park, so that's what I mean by that. And then 3 events at a bar setting. This would help me establish where I need to set up in the best possible hotspots. So within my 3-month goal, I am averaging around $18,900 if I were to sell 7 tacos for 5 hours and then 3 days within that. So within a month of work, I should be getting $525 each week. That's where that 18,900 comes from. And moving on to my 6-month goal, I want to accomplish that 18,900 estimate. And if I did that for 3 months, I should establish $56,000 minus my capital needs. So my goal is to have a month's worth of $18,900 in the business account. 12-month goal is to double that, and I should reach 226,800 minus my capital needs. I'm averaging around that 26,000. So my big goal is to have within that month $200,000 and the launch of the grand opening and then the down payment for the food truck. My key success indicators for marketing, I am going to manage and track my social media donations and collaborations. Through the operations, I am going to track my sale events, the registration process, and then the operation cycle would indicate my cycle event. And then for financials, what indicators will track? I'm gonna really focus on the bank account and the financial workbooks of everything to track my financials. Revenue assumptions. So if we look at the one item I have, which is the Navajo taco, the unit would be $15. So average revenue per month would be $15,000 a month. But keep in mind that this is for 5 hours each day. And then with each hour, I sell 10 tacos. So that brings me to 50 tacos. And now if I sell 50 tacos for $15, I will get $750 each day. So if I did this for 5 days and out of a month is 4 weeks, so I would be selling 20 days. And so with that, just alone the 50 tacos for $15 would bring me to $750. And that's where that 15,000 comes from. This was just an assumption that we made, and in the previous slides, you noticed that it was 3 days, not 5 days. So my startup financial cost
You have less than 1 minute left.
assumptions would, I would need all listed, my packaging, my utensils, the food items, the kitchen and the commissary, the food truck, the equipment. And then my immediate fixed cost would be my truck payment, phone bill, insurance, licensing, and then payroll is kind of questionable because I don't know if it's just going to be me or 2 other people. Profit assumptions is just referencing back to the other slide where if I was to stick to this goal, I would be averaging more than what I need. And then the cash flow assumptions, I would want to focus on my financial classes and my growth and knowledge in the financial part of this, meaning the workbook, and then really focus on the business account. So part of my money would go towards growing my knowledge so that I don't really have to rely on or pay other people for theirs. And then my capital needs would be my payroll, the truck, the repairs, the food truck equipment, commissary, and then I would really want to work up to buying land so that I can produce the food that I need. And then my immediate fixed costs is still the rent, the technology, and the commissary. I hope to accomplish this through grants and scholarships. Thank you.
Great job, Zed. Thank you for that. Great job. I can't wait to try your food either. Got a lot of good food in this group.
Tasty international food here.
Yeah.
And originally national food here. Indigenous food.
Really awesome. All right. Can we all unmute and give one last round of applause to all of our entrepreneurs for their amazing presentation tonight?
Everyone.
Everyone.
Good job.
I'm gonna stop recording.